Hey, how you guys doing, man? This is Joe D, and welcome to Share a Beer 544. And we are back and hopefully healthy and tested. And well, not maybe not tested. Of course, we're not tested. Uh, but we are in self quarantine right now. Um, this show is actually a Corona safe zone. It's considered a safe. This is what do they call it, Mark? Social
Oh,
anti-social.
yes, we're social
Yeah,
distancing.
we are a social distancing type of show. So you will never get coronavirus from this show. I think, Bum. Can we? Is that did Billy D confirm this?
No corona on this show tonight.
Yeah, there's no corona on this
Yeah.
show.
No corona on this show. That's
Yeah.
right.
This is a corona-free environment here. So
Maybe some Dos Equis, but no corona.
yeah, lots of Dos Equis, possibly Dos Equis. I've got a German version right here. I've got a Polliner,
Oh,
There you go.
which is the Oktoberfest beer, which is I was actually supposed to review. But so in that kind of tone and flavor, I'm gonna be sampling this beer out of a measuring cup because we should be very measured and careful with our beers, and that is what I am. Oh, no smoke off of this beer. It's absolutely pathetic. There we go. First ever sampling of a beer in a freaking measuring glass. And you know what? This is BS. Okay, wait a minute. How many ounces is this? Okay, 11.2. 11.2 ounces. I actually got.
Let's see. Yeah, see what you get.
It's not quite 12 ounces.
See if they're ripping you off.
So it looks like it's, this is something maybe we should do every once in a while.
Make sure they're not shorting your beer.
Yeah, make sure they're not shorting us the beer. So it is right just below that 12-ounce line, as you can see. So, all right. So salute to Polliner. You know what I'm saying? There we are. And that is an official virus-free sip right there because this was produced before the virus happened. So this is and we have a food scientist, Mark. What can we get coronavirus through our beer?
I don't think so. As long as the beer is, what would you say, Pam? How much alcohol would kill the coronavirus? She's checking. She's checking her sources.
Her sources, okay.
Yeah. Few percent. Okay, few percent. The key is don't share the glass. You got.
that's what I was going to say. What if somebody drank?
Clean your hands before you touch the glass.
Now, I think this is something worth talking about because, okay, where it concerns beer is, I think the product itself, you're okay drinking, right?
100% fine. Yeah.
I think the glass that it may be consumed in is suspect, right? Now, possibly coming right out of the washer.
Oh, you're fine.
Go. It's sanitized. Now, it begins with the server that has, I don't really trust these beard butter guys, right? All these guys and their beard butter and all this, that just like holds in contaminants. What do you say, Bum?
You just don't know where their hands might have been.
Yeah, I mean they're touching their beard and they're constantly, and then they touch your glass. Boom.
The beard and the beard butter, that might just be a small part of a bigger picture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's and that's the problem. Beard butter guy is touching your glass and then serving and then touching the handle and then grabbing that nasty rag that's always wet and they're wiping everything with it and just spreading germs all over the place. We don't know what the hell's going on there at the brewery, do we?
Yeah, so that's why I say get your beer in a 12-pack, bring it home, open it up in a safe environment, and then consume promptly.
Yeah, and watch the Share Beer show. Participate in the Share Beer show. Now, let me post a link here so anybody can jump in. This very safe. You will not catch coronavirus. This is the point of the virtual pub
That's
table.
right. Yeah, we're a virus-free show.
There is no confirmed cases of coronavirus on this show. It doesn't happen. I don't know. Not to my knowledge. Bum, what are we reporting as far as confirmed cases of corona on this show?
I know nothing. We're free. Yeah. Yeah, if you say so, Joe.
Is there any confirmed cases of corona on this show? Yeah. I don't know of anybody that's got any. Yeah. Actually, you know what? This is not a bad sipping glass. I'm going to have to do this every once in a while just to keep everything kind of honest, Like, how much, are they really putting 12 ounces? Are they really putting 16 ounces in there? What are we really getting?
Yeah. I can tell you there's never been there's maybe been a 6-pack, but there's never been a case of corona in this residence.
Yeah.
In the residence, yes.
Yeah.
And Mark, how are we in the Cinderson residence?
We are in a corona-free zone, and I've got a beer that I think should, if there is any possible coronavirus floating around, I've got a beer that should get rid of that. That is Old Rasputin.
Whoa, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, this guy's putting a whammy on the coronavirus right there.
Yeah, I think that's why he has his hand up like
right,
that.
Man.
And or is he applying beard butter?
Oh well, this is pre-beard butter days. I mean, he didn't have beard butter. He had a real
maybe they were using beard lard.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so,
they might have been using beard lard. I think.
I figure if anybody can save me from coronavirus, it's Rasputin.
Yeah, the Rasputin there. Yeah, that's probably pretty.
This is one of the. If you like Russian Imperial Stouts, this is one of the best values out there.
Without a doubt.
$8.75 for a 4-pack, and it's what is it? It's
around
10%. So it's not over the top, but it's just very tasty. Great stuff.
Have they ever barrel aged that? Oh, they must do something at the brewery, right?
Oh,
yeah.
I think they do. They do have a barrel aged version.
Yeah, there's many. Well, every year there's a different batch, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking through the variants right now that are logged on Untapped at least.
Straight up, Old Rasputin is. I mean, it's one of the best values in craft beer, really. I mean, if you really like, if you like the style.
Oh, there was a special Millennium release.
Oh.
You know what? I'm not seeing a barrel-aged version. You know what? This would be a good beer to go to the what you call it with the website. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I go to actually North Coast Brewing.
Yeah, let me go to the website here and see what we get, because that would be.
Yeah,
that beer is pretty accessible, so you can get that beer everywhere.
Yeah, you can get it. Yeah,
and it's been around forever now.
Yep.
I was buying that beer 20 years ago.
Yeah, this would be a good one to. Here's the website. I clicked yes 2 years ago. For Christ's sake, come on, guys! Dear God, good God, right? Good God, and bloop, bloop, bloop. Here we are. Around years. Hey, it's kind of a cool website. It's taking God. So, is this your beer, Mark? A 9%?
Yep, that's it. Yep.
75 IB. Oh no, I don't want anything but this information. Stop.
Hey, it's non-GMO. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
There you go. Beer is just good for you, man. You know what I'm saying? Like Mark says, there's nothing in beer that's going to kill you, Yep. And it's virus free. That's what's up.
Unless you drink too much of it, right?
I was going to say nothing in beer that could kill you except the alcohol.
Yeah.
Well, the abundance, the overdoing.
Right.
And that's true for a lot of stuff. If you take your car a little too far in a turn, you're going to roll over and die. If you drink too much beer and you roll over, you're going to die. Like that's how it works.
Yeah, Mark, you could have Pam confirm this. I've heard if you ate too much weight in raw potatoes, it can kill you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, look at this! All the medals and
Raw
awards.
potatoes can kill you if you eat too many of them. It's stuff in the skin, I think.
Yeah. Produced in the tradition of the 18th century English brewers who supplied the court of Russia's Catherine the Great. Old Rasputin seems to develop a cult following wherever it goes. It's a rich, intense brew with big, complex flavors and warming finish. Oh, yeah. The Old Rasputin brand image is a drawing of Rasputin. God, you just can't say that. You know what? You say that 10 times, you're screwed. With a phrase in Russian encirculate. Come on, guys. How many Rasputins can you drink and say this whole phrase here? I mean, you can't get it out.
I give myself 2. And
So what are you getting from this year's variant, Mark? What do you think?
it's just super roasty. There's chocolate, dark chocolate, super roasty, some coffee, a little bit of smoke. Yeah, it's just very, very, very good. Nice medium body, medium to full body.
And here's Hot Shot saying that the barrel aged version is amazing.
I could believe that. I've never had the barrel aged version. I've seen it in a store. I just haven't bought it. So,
yeah, here it is. Barrel aged Old Rasputin 22. And then, yeah. Barrel aged. Yeah. Oh, wow. Limited reserve. Oh, wow. Look at all these different variants of it.
Yeah, they've got a lot. Yeah, and you probably got to be out. They probably don't distribute all that stuff nationwide. It's probably.
I'm not sure if I've ever seen the barrel age for sale.
I've seen the barrel age. I saw.
There you go. There's the bottles.
Does it come in a 22-ounce bottle or like a 12?
It's a 12. It was a
Like a
12
full
ounce
pack?
pack. Yeah,
All right.
which is what's nice because it's.
And that's 11.3%.
Yeah. The regular is like under $9 a 4-pack. It's super tasty, consistent. I mean, I've had it. I've been drinking it for at least 10 years, and
I should be able to get this.
never disappointed. Yeah,
I should be able to find it in my area.
Yeah,
I would think.
It's nice when you get a good beer and you can have 4 of them.
I'm gonna have to keep an eye out for that. So you've got a bourbon version and a rye version.
Ooh,
Interesting. That'd be interesting.
I think, if I'm reading this right.
Yeah.
Much loved Russian Imperial Stout in bourbon and rye whiskey barrels.
Ooh.
So, and I think that's the reason for the red and the green label.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. No, it's
So
very good.
that's the way that.
If you want to try a good quality Russian Imperial Stout that's consistent and flavorful, but not over the top in any one thing, just real nice mix. Yeah, this is it. This would be my entry. If you wanted to try it, this would be the beer I would suggest you would try.
Now, what about this one, the tart cherry?
That would be good. That would be really good.
Wow.
You get chocolate and cherries with that. Yeah, that would be
No,
good.
a tart cherry.
Tart.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be good. Yeah, cherries. Yeah, would go with this perfectly.
Very limited release, 12 ounce 4-packs and 22-ounce bottles as well. Okay. Oh, as well as 1/6 keg barrel kegs. So
they're out of California. Are they out of California?
Yeah, California. Yeah.
You probably got to live close to them to get all those special ones, right? And imagine.
Yeah, I've never seen any of those specialty ones.
Stuff. Yeah.
Their basic line has been available to me for decades, but none of those special ones.
Oh, North Coast. Look at that. They have a special section here, North Coast Brewing and Jazz. Oh, you got to be kidding me. To have these beers and be in Oh, the Monterey Jazz Festival. Hello. Okay, sign me up for Monterey, listening to good jazz music and drinking this beer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
nice and fresh too. Oh
And
yeah.
a big, gigantic serving of coronavirus. That's the way to go. That's what's up right there.
Mm.
I mean, okay, I'm ready. I've done enough in this life. I'm good. Let's go. Bye.
Jesus. I seen a post on Facebook. It was, I guess, no one's buying Corona right now, and
Oh,
it was a guy. They were literally saying, if you buy Corona, you can get toilet paper with it. One roll of toilet paper for every Corona that you buy.
Oh my God.
Which I found was hilarious.
That is funny. That is funny. So what, Tom, let me get your opinion. What would you have to say about the whole coronavirus? Whether it be just what is your first thing that comes to mind right now when you're thinking coronavirus? What are you most concerned about? What is forefront on your mind?
What comes to mind is that this country is not. I don't think we're really ready for it. A country like Italy with 60 million people compared to 300 million people, I just don't think we're ready for it. To be honest, I think as a country, we're a little more ignorant to things. And I just don't think we're ready, to be honest. People aren't ready in this country. People aren't able to adapt as quick as other countries. I don't feel. Like you look at China, there were people, they would literally only let you go out of your house one time every 3 days. In Italy, the whole country's on lockdown. They literally don't, if you go to church, you have to be like 10 feet away from the other person. I don't think this country, we would be able to do that. We got people fighting at Walmart for Germex. Like, what's going on here? Like, well, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't think we're ready. I don't think we're ready.
Any opinion, Bum?
Well, just adding on to what Tom said, it's just, I think we're just going to see a more extreme version of the ridiculous behavior that we already see from people in this country, like the Walmart fighting, which you normally only see on Black Friday. Now we're going to see it do something like this and taken to the next level of ridiculous behavior. And I'm not making a comment one way or the other on whether we're overreacting or whether we underreacted, or I'm not going to get into all that. But I don't know. When this is all over, and it will end eventually, I don't know. Maybe if you err on the side of caution, there's no harm done other than a lot of inconvenience to people. But if you are too, complacent about it, could be dangerous to people. So best to err on the side of caution, I guess. Who knows?
Any opinions, Mark?
Yeah. It's interesting. I do agree with Tom a little bit. We, as a country, we weren't prepared, and I think just people in general just aren't prepared for this kind of thing because we're so used to just going wherever we want to go and doing whatever we want to do whenever we want to do it. So any restriction on that just freaks everybody out. So
right, and that's the price of freedom.
Yeah, it is. And like China, it was easy for them to kind of go in compliance because they're a dictatorship basically. So if you don't do it, you get shot. We're not doing that here.
That's true. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
It makes it a little easier. But we're doing a lot of stuff to try to limit the spread, which I think is good. But there's going to be a pretty big economic fallout as a result of this. I mean, you think all the stuff that's been which might be good. I mean, it might be necessary, but we're going to be feeling the effects of this for. I'm not going to, not for years, but for the virus may go away in a couple months, but we're still going to be feeling the effects of it economically for months after that. So it's just it's one of those things, and we're in a world where if something happens in one corner of the world, it can be in the other corner of the world overnight. So you know, it's one of those things where you have to be a little bit more prepared, and hopefully this you know, this gets people on the ball a little bit to be a little bit more prepared for the next time this happens, because it will. Sooner or later, something else like this is going to come up, and you know, we just need to be prepared a little bit more for it, and we're not now. I mean, we'll get through it, and I don't think it's going to be as bad as everyone's saying, but there's going to be, you know, a lot of people are going to die, a lot of people are going to get it, a lot of people are going to die, but we need to hopefully use this as a wake-up point. It's like, okay, you know, we can't have all of our drugs manufactured in one spot. You know, most of our drugs are manufactured in China or India. Almost nothing is manufactured here. Most of our masks that we use are manufactured somewhere else. So we gotta diversify a little bit and make sure that we have some supplies coming from multiple places, just in case.
You know that it's cliche almost. You know, we know that the answer to most questions is money, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because of the almighty dollar, not that many things are made here anymore, right? Overall, in the grand picture, they're made across the pond, whether it be China, whether that be Japan, whether that be Madagascar, wherever that's made at, they're made somewhere else. So when we get a world pandemic, if you will, that happens like this, and China gets shut down and Italy gets shut down, guess what? You know, we're frozen. Like, you know, we're paralyzed too. And I think we're being forced to look at ourselves now and say, hey, is some of this really worth it? You know,
I mean, there's some stuff that you can manufacture at the absolute lowest cost, and if it stops, you know, nobody's the worse for, you know, if a really cheap whatever stops, it's not going to affect your life. But if something like medical supplies or prescriptions or drugs or stuff gets stopped because
it's got the coronavirus.
Coronavirus sound right there, man. Just got it right now, fresh.
Shit. Hey, we're safe though. We're all safe though. I mean, except for you, Joe.
Yeah, you cannot. We're not contagious here on this show. Yeah.
I got a question. In your guys' area, I know in my area, people are going in, having flu symptoms. They'll go into the ER. They'll get tested. Oh, you don't have a flu, and send you home because they're not testing people.
Yeah.
People aren't getting tested.
They don't have the test kits to do it.
Just as of recent, I know in Norwood, this is as of like today. I guess if you have flu-like symptoms and they tell you to go get tested, you can go up there and get tested. But I mean, as a whole week, people just going in saying they get flu, or they feel like they have a flu, test them for flu, they don't have it, and send them home. Like, makes no sense to me. You know what I mean?
What, Tom? Are there any sort of precautions you've taken? Have you gone to the store? Have you loaded up on extra hand sanitizer? Are you stocked up on toilet paper? Water? What precautions have you taken or your family taken?
Try not to go, really crazy. Just make sure I have Germex. I didn't really go crazy and get a bunch of toilet paper. What we have is what we have. I don't know. The funny thing is the people that are laughing are the people with the bidets, right? Right?
That's true.
Everybody's maniacs.
Well,
who needs toilet paper when you got a bidet?
Hey, the thing of it is, people with Japanese toilets right now are going, ha, suckers, right? Like, who cares, right? What, toilet paper? Who ever cared about that, right? Like, yeah. You know, people with those nice Japanese toilets, man. Hey, spend $2,000 on a Japanese toilet and you're set.
Yeah, you don't need any toilet paper.
What do you say, Bum? What have you taken any precautions, any sort of stocked up on anything, any extra?
No, I haven't needed to. I always am stocked up on extra toilet paper.
He's always ready
right?
He's always ready for his shitty times.
Yeah.
Because that happens, right? Happens.
Because shit happens.
Exactly.
No, I so far at least, I have not changed any of my store purchasing habits one bit. I have more than enough to get me by for quite a while.
Mhm. And Mark, your household, do you guys stock up on anything?
I did go out this week and get a little bit of. I mean, we generally run with like 1 or 2 days of groceries, so I just kind of upped that to like a week. And but toilet paper, we were legitimately down. We were down to like 2 or 3 rolls. I'm like, well, we need to get some more toilet paper. So I go to Costco on Wednesday, I think it was, and they literally had no toilet paper. So I'm like, okay, well, I got to go find some, to get a little more toilet paper. And the guy behind me pushing a cart, he was talking to his wife on the phone. He's like, can you believe it? Costco has no freaking toilet paper. He's like, come on, people, coronavirus doesn't come out your ass.
I mean, you got a good point.
It's the best thing I've heard all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, people just stocking up, buying like 6 months worth of toilet paper, 6 months worth of paper towels. Like,
P&G is loving this. Oh yeah, they're the ones that are taking in the money.
Johnson and Johnson and all that. I know when I went to Walmart myself, I needed to get some Listerine, and so I not thinking about any of this stuff that's going on. I went there and literally there was not a bottle of Listerine specifically to be had. I don't give a damn what flavor, whatever. Every last bottle of Listerine was cleaned out. All they had all your other mouthwashes, Listerine gone. And I said, okay. And I happen to want to get, not in a need to get, but some of my dish towels are, a couple years old. And I thought, let me get some dish towels. Let me get some new dish towels. Gone. There was not a dish towel to be had. All the dish towels or anything of a dish towel size, gone.
Yeah.
And
that's insane.
It was a little crazy. And so when I got to the register, the guy asked me, hey, did you find everything? And I go, not really. And he goes, you know what, man, we are running out of everything. He goes, we're running out of all your paper goods. We're running out of, and I told him, I was looking for Listerine. He goes, yeah, we're out of Listerine. We're out of, and I told him I was looking for towels. And he goes, yeah, the towels are running out, because people clean with towels. And so, all your.
It's interesting. It must be because everybody thinks that Listerine is, kills 99.4% of germs. The reality is any mouthwash that has alcohol in it is the same amount of alcohol as Listerine, pretty much.
Yeah.
But Listerine has that reputation as, it's an antiseptic.
Yeah. I thought nothing about it. That's the brand I use. So I was going to, let me get another bottle of Listerine. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. What the hell? The Listerine's gone. What are you talking about? I noticed I was going to get some more mustard. Some of the condiments were gone.
Yeah.
Huh?
That type of stuff. Yeah.
You couldn't get vinegar.
Yeah, vinegar. People use that as a cleaning solution.
Vinegar was gone. White vinegar.
I went to the local Publix, and pretty much all the meat, the fresh meat, was gone. And the only thing that was left was the super expensive, like the filet mignon, the stuff that was $25 a pound. All the other stuff was pretty much wiped out.
Hey, baby, I got some meat for you, but I got the highest bidder. You know what I'm saying?
I got some fresh meat.
I got
by the pound.
You know what I'm saying?
Coronavirus free.
So I've got to change the topic really quick and about face on this deal. I have got the beer that I got 2 weeks ago now. It's the Uncharted Baltic Porter from Goldwater Brewing here that I had crowlered. 7.3%. It was canned $2.29. And as far as I know, it was canned without coronavirus in it. And this is from Goldwater Brewing. Now, with a crowler, you are worried about it because it is someone going, okay, all right.
And they always wipe off the top of that can with a rag before they
dip it in some Listerine, Joe. Dip it in some Listerine.
Now, I think if our Share Beer food scientist has confirmed, now, if there was germs on the inside of the lid when they sealed it on here, I think those germs are now gone because of the alcohol. The 7.3% should have killed
What I would do, just to make sure, is I'd flip the crowler over and let it sit a little bit on that alcohol first. Flip it back over and
Oh my God.
just to be safe.
just to be safe, and it makes for much better video. It's much more entertaining this way,
Gotta
right?
flip it open like that, and
Yeah, and then flip it back quickly. Really, really like jiggle it, and then open it, and then we'll,
Sure.
you know.
Or you could just shake the shit out of it. You know what I mean? So it expands inside the.
So here we go, kids. Here we go, man. Let's see. We never get smoke out of a crowler, but let's see what we get here.
Oh,
Now.
it's very hard to get smoke.
Ow! I got like some. I think that was whatever Corona was in there jumped out of the can.
Yeah, you got some splooge.
And I am going straight in. There we are. Boom. Yeah, this can is a spitter for sure. I've got my very clean beer towel here, beer emergency towel. That's happening. Since I have a 32-ounce can here, I can get a photo of the beer later. We'll give it the old Earth Tappa there. Oh, look at that beautiful beer. 2 weeks, kids, in the crowler. Look at that, man.
Yep.
Look at that
So
head,
good.
man.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Crowlers work if they fill them up properly. There's not much air to have the beer.
She filled it up literally. So this was a beard butter free pour. Because
Hey, you mother.
oh yeah,
Sing me from the band, man.
When
I heard you.
uses beard butter, I literally said has coronavirus. That's pretty much the words that came out of my mouth, but not. But now they did. Because everybody in a brewery has these incredible beards, and they all put the rubber band around the beard. They're that guy, right? They all have the rubber band around the beard, right?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That's
Yeah.
the guy serving you the beer, and he's always out of breath because they're running around everywhere. Now, this person didn't have, and she actually had quite the figure. You know what I'm saying? So the opposite of beard butter guy, very good looking beer server. You know what I'm saying?
Corona approved.
Corona approved. How you doing? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If the store's out of meat, give me a call. I got some more meat for you. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
And just think, you know, I will deliver. You know what I'm saying? And you can just call me Uber. You can eat it. You know what? Just kidding. That was too much. Never mind that, kids. Just here we go.
It's better than coronavirus.
Oh man, that's
Okay.
it's,
So I see this comment by Craig. You see this, Bum?
Where he said he's got a virus, he thinks.
You know, he says pasta, tinned food, bog. What the hell?
Bog. That's
What's
British
bog
slang for
roll?
toilet.
I want to know. Oh, bog roll? Is that toilet paper? Okay.
Yeah, bog. Yeah, like
around.
say you threw a firecracker down the bog. That's means
Okay.
toilet.
So that's what that is. So bog roll is toilet paper. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
we learn all kinds of stuff on this show, don't we? Like it's incredible.
Yeah. I mean, now I know. You guys, I can't. If I go into Costco tomorrow and go, I can't believe you guys are out of bog roll. They're like, huh?
Right? And the thing of it is, you think of how many people from the UK that you've met in your areas, right?
Mhm.
Wherever you're at in your areas. How often do you ever hear bog roll? I don't think you get that kind of reference unless you're in this circumstance.
I've never heard
Where
bog roll before, but
they're literally in their own environment
Yeah.
in a chat where that's a friend.
you know,
Because if that person comes to America, they're going to use your reference.
yeah. So what that tells me, you talk about the history of words. That means before indoor plumbing, they used to go into the bog. That's what I figure.
Yeah.
When there was a bog, wetlands, they would just bog roll.
Yeah, that sounds like something you would ask for at the deli.
Yeah, can I get a bog
Yeah.
roll?
Give me a pound
Like
of
a-
bog roll.
Yeah, what
Like
does
a bag,
sound like
baguette.
bog roll? Okay, you're gonna force me to Google this. I swear to God, I am.
Pure slang.
Yeah, bog roll.
It
I'm gonna-
sounds like baguette, right?
Yeah.
Do you, hey Tom? If you go into Dunkin' Donuts, do you think you can get a bog roll of cream cheese?
Hey, actually, don't act like I don't know what I'm talking about, and then they'll just give me a bagel with cream cheese.
Right?
Probably.
Don't you
Right,
think
that's-
they would? They would
Yeah.
just give you something with cream cheese, right?
I like tinned too. I like that. I think that's much better than tinned.
There's so many of the, look, we've already talked about it on this show. I am done with calories. I'm all about energy, my friend. All about it. I am done with calories. And I am so into, as a fat person myself, I think it's very discriminatory, the whole pounds thing. I think we should go by stone. Absolutely. I am
Stone.
much lighter in stone. That is for sure. I think I'm like 30 stone, something like that. And I think that's just more fair. And calories, I'm completely done. I like the thought of 300 energy. I'm all about it.
Yeah. I just got done stocking up his bog roll. So
Yeah.
I'm ready to able to drink.
Yeah.
Okay. Here it is from Colin.
You need bog roll.
Before we get in, here it is right here. The definition. I'll share the screen here. Bog roll in British English. Yeah, because we know that's real English. British English. Definition of the bog roll from Collins Dictionary. Oh, come on. Where's the definition?
Is it right? No. Oh,
It's oh yeah, a toilet roll. There you go, toilet paper.
Okay. All right.
There is no bog roll. That's used in a sentence right there. There you go. That is very, very, very British. We covered that. What say you, Kent/Craig?
It's worrying. It's worrying. No toilet rolls. Yeah. I don't know. It's just it's not happened for 100 years or so, is it? So Spanish flu, I think, was the last biggest kind of like pandemic.
The bird flu was kind of a big deal.
we had Ebola too.
But that's only affected small parts
And
of
the
the world,
one
like
with
West
the
Africa.
cows, the mad cow disease, the bird flu and mad cow disease was.
The H1N1 from 10 years ago. That was
Bird flu.
SARS.
So
Yeah.
This one though
I think
bigger.
Bigger. Yeah. Well, it's not. Yeah.
So what?
I mean,
let me ask you, Craig. What are any precautions you're taking? What's happening in your area?
everyone's going crazy, like everyone in the States, by the sounds of it, trying to just buy everything up and go stupid. You know, it's like worse than Christmas week shopping wise at the moment. Speaking to my friend, speaking to my old work friends, because I used to work in the supermarket for like 17 years.
Oh,
and they're saying this week has been ridiculous. I popped into one up, in a German supermarket just up the road called Aldi. You get them, I think, in the States. And there was no pasta. There was hardly any tins. They were rationing tins. I think you can only more than 4 tins. There's no bog roll.
So are they putting limits on certain purchases? I know they're not doing it out here.
Like hand sanitizer, like wipes, but even things like frozen food was like been absolutely gutted out. It's like, because I think everyone wants stuff in before, if there's a shutdown, which probably will happen in the next 2 or 3 weeks, the way it's going. Because I think Spain's going into shutdown, and I think tomorrow or Monday.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah, because they've had a hell of a lot of cases. They're catching Italy up. So, I don't know. I mean, I mean, it's one of the things I haven't really seen it on is like, can it be transferred through like money coins and stuff like that, or notes, or
Imagine.
and things like when you're trying to get some money out, like the hole in the wall and stuff, you're touching all the buttons for your codes and getting money out, things like that. Could it get into the food chain? Has anyone ever thought that it could actually get into the food chain, like cattle or anything like that?
Supposedly cats can get it. Cats and dogs can get it. Supposedly.
Cats, yeah. What about cattle? I mean, like,
Cattle, cows. Yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
The Share a Beer show has 2 cats on this show. Do you think we could ask AJ possibly if what his feelings are?
They're currently in conference, checking it out. What do you guys say?
Oh yeah.
We're thinking about it. We haven't come up with an opinion yet.
I love how they back. Their eyes are just
Whatever.
also slowly.
Yeah,
What are we talking about here?
We don't know. Yeah, okay. So there you go.
There you go.
Hey,
The cats don't seem too concerned at this point.
they're
so-
not very concerned.
No, they're.
That is awesome. Wait, hey, what does Billy D have to say about all of this? We're pretty late getting to Billy D, but what does he have anything to say?
Well, he has something to say, but you might not understand him. He's masked up.
Oh, that's epic.
That's good.
That is awesome.
He's got his mouth.
So Billy D's being very safe right now. That is awesome.
Just a precaution. He was in China recently for something that had more to do with something regarding his own personal tastes and things.
Was he or she kissing Tom Hanks? Is that what happened?
He was kissing Tom and Rita Wilson. They did a 3-way.
Jeez. That's awesome.
Oh, too funny, man. That is great. That is
I'll give you guys 3 guesses as to what the theme of tonight's Malt Liquor Report is going to be.
yeah, okay.
Coronavirus, and coronavirus.
Yes, and yes. All 3.
All right.
Excellent.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Well, you know what? Since we were already talking about toilet paper, Jay Vega has an interesting take on the question of why the demand for toilet paper. And this is brand new from Vega. He, of course, did a long video. There's no show hate this week, so we can just play his opening statement. And I'll tell you what, this is mainly for. He said something on this something that I hadn't thought of for decades. I'm going to see if you remember this, Mark, from the early 80s. Joe, our slight age difference, you probably won't remember this. And Tom, you're automatically disqualified.
I'm out of here.
Yeah,
I need my bed,
yeah. Me and Mark are probably the only 2 people that are going to get the reference that Vega makes to a specific product that used to be on the market. And I hadn't thought about it for decades. And when he said it, I was like, oh my God. So yeah, he'll mention it eventually. So I got the link posted. Yep. There, Joe.
So let's, okay, let me share the screen. There we are. Oh, whoops. I'm in the wrong. I need to redo the share screen. Okay. Sorry. I was in the wrong. Here we are. Now we're in the right window. Okay.
This car again.
So before I start
Can we hear it?
profiling,
Yeah.
Yep.
allow me to address the 800-pound Gumby in the room. I'm sure many of you have seen the meme. What's with this run on toilet paper? I'll tell you what this run for toilet paper is. one
runs.
person coughs, and 12 people shit their pants. Good fucking God. I think Dr. Stephen Walturin made a great analogy. He was comparing this coronavirus to AIDS back in the day. And if you're an old bastard like me, and you remember when AIDS first popped up, had you listened to the media back then, you would think that we'd all be dead by now. But we're obviously not. I mean, shit. HIV and AIDS isn't even that big a deal anymore. Oh, no homo. I don't have it. But, I mean, shit.
Jesus.
People like Magic Johnson, Cunt Bowski, the Greasel, they can all live long lives with that shit now. Not a big deal. And this shit will pass, and it will become not a big deal. I remember back in the early 80s, maybe 81, they had this, I don't even know what the fuck it really was. It's some kind of diet supplement. It wasn't a pill. It was like these chewable candy type things. Weight loss. And they were called AIDS. AIDS.
Remember that, Mark?
And when Robert kicked the bucket, they kicked that name right fucking quick. I'm just wondering how much longer coronavirus will stick around. I don't really give a fuck because off camera, I enjoy a Modelo from time to time.
Oh,
Fuck Corona.
oh,
Let's get to it, folks.
And that's it.
Stephen Walturin.
we
Yeah.
have a confession on here.
I remember AIDS tremendously because it was a weight loss pill, and I remember in high school all the wrestlers would take AIDS before the wrestling, to get down to weight.
Yeah.
They would take it to help themselves cut weight.
Yeah. Do you remember those little diet candies, Joe, called AIDS, AYDS?
No, and not at all. And I mean, that was when I used to wrestle. And of course, we would take anything under the sun to, help you cut weight. No, I mean,
Rubber suit and
yeah, I wrestled in the 80s, of course. And no, I don't. I never heard of. There was a popular diet back then. I'm trying to think of the name. It was like an oatmeal sort of thing. My mom sold it for a while. It was insanely popular. I can't remember the damn name of it, but
It wasn't Herbalife, was it?
no, it was a God bless. And it's funny because some of the friends that I have, family friends that I have to this day, are because of those days, and it was because of that diet. And like I said, it was like it came in a like a cardboard sided can sort of deal, and it was like an oatmeal sort of thing, and you made a shake out of it, and it was insanely popular
What it is, I can't think.
in the 80s. It was popular as hell.
Yeah. Oh.
And you want to talk about something that was all over the place. It was all over the place, and for a while it was all over the place.
No, I remember AIDS. Yeah, big time.
Yeah, and like he said, as soon as the acquired immune deficiency syndrome happened, that was the last you heard of that candy. Maybe they changed the name of it, but it certainly wasn't known as AIDS
Like
anymore.
85 or 80.
Yeah, that's how things can just overtake other things.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, even right now, you have a movie that was about to be released. I heard about that, and they've stalled the release of this movie because the premise of it was something about the flu, or something in the name had something to do with sickness or something. God, and there was a popular actor in this movie too that's about to be released, and they delayed the release of the movie. You think about everything major that happens, it stalls a movie because the movie was about to come out and it doesn't want to step on the toes of whatever happens. When all that stuff happened in Japan, I think it was with the nuclear reactor, there was a movie or two movies that were stalled, if I'm not mistaken, during that time.
Oh,
Fukushima, yeah.
So, those sort of things happened.
Jay Vegas says, I wrestled and we would eat a bunch of X-Lax, so it would take a huge pump to make weight. Yep.
Hey, we used to spit like a sieve. Now, I didn't have to do all of that. I was fortunate.
Did you wrestle heavyweight?
I wrestled light heavy. In California, we had one extra weight class, and it was light heavyweight, and I wrestled light heavyweight. I was fortunate enough I didn't have that issue.
Yeah.
But most of our guys did, and oh my God, they for like 2 days spit in the cup, spit everywhere. They were spitting. They, literally anything came out of their body, they would let it go. You know what I'm saying? Like it was wrestling. Wrestling was something that sticks with you the rest of your life, right? It's
yeah. I mean, and you look back on it, it's like that was like probably the absolute worst thing you could do because you're just dehydrating yourself, which makes yourself weaker when you go into the actual match.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that was the key to it. The key to it was to do it before weigh-in.
Yeah.
Because then at least you would have, not quite 24 hours, but you'd have a day to kind of rehydrate and get yourself ready for. And it's the same thing boxers do to this day.
Oh, yeah.
You're trying to suck weight for the weigh-in, and then you see boxers gain like 15 pounds in a night. It's insane.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's all water weight. So they just drink a gallon of water and they're good. Yeah.
They take all like the salt pills and stuff to like take all the water out of their body and everything. It's insane.
But it's what you do. I remember guys laying under the wrestling mats in small rooms with heaters on high. All these sorts of things, man. To suck. We would wrestle in trash bags.
Rubber suits. Yeah.
And it felt like these things. I can remember wearing a trash bag and going through wrestling practice, which were to this day. I went to basic training in the Army, and it was nothing compared to wrestling practice. An average wrestling practice. It was insane. We had at the time something like 16 league championships. It was, the school I went to was a wrestling school. It was at the time. It was an insane the amount of championships that we had in that particular span. The amount of state champions, and this is California. The amount of state champions that we had was pretty insane. The amount of district champions we had was insane. You know what I'm saying? It was that kind of school. And so, boom, boom, boom. The things that you did were just, bam. We had cats that had graduated and were doing well in college that would come back to wrestle with us on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying? And so we'd had college guys, wrestling with us to get skills as well. It was great. You know what I'm saying? You'd have, sophomores in college, juniors in college coming back to, we had guys that were about to be in the Olympics coming back to kick our ass in wrestling practice. It was fun, and we would kick your ass. It was great. But I can remember wearing the trash bags and you'd pull them out of like your singlet and just the water would pour out. You know what I'm saying? It was completely full of coronavirus.
Gallons of it.
Jesus.
So, what say you, buddy? Adam, what precautions are you taking with Corona? What's your mind process? What's going on with you?
Well, according to our Prime Minister, you just got to sing happy birthday while washing your hands. That's the solution.
Yeah.
Um,
Now you're supposed to sing happy birthday twice, or how does that go, right?
The full song, I believe. You
Yeah.
sing the full song whilst you're washing your hands, and that's apparently the right amount of time to wash your hands.
Yes.
Shows you how the countries differ. In this country, it's Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star.
Yeah, twinkle.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Now, is it once or twice, Bum?
Where I work, it's once.
Okay, once. Okay. So, and what else, Adam? What do you got?
Nothing really. It's just a case of you go into supermarkets for one thing, and people are, as Craig said before, they're harassing staff regarding toilet roll. It's ridiculous.
Wow.
It's really bad. But other than that, no, nothing really. I'm quite good in the fact that I generally bulk buy generally anyway, so we're okay at the moment. Touch wood. But
Whoa!
Hands above the table.
Yeah, hands above the table. You say that, yeah.
It's a wooden desk.
Oh god damn! You are below the table there, boy. God damn.
It's a wooden desk.
The camera down. Always, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, please. PTSD.
Hey, look, Adam, one of the rules of the show is it's not gay unless you look down. You know what I'm saying?
I was looking up.
Just keep looking up, man. Just look up, you know what I'm saying? Whatever's happening down there, just enjoy it. You know what I'm saying?
A couple looks at the roof.
It's a don't ask, don't tell policy. Just don't look down. You know what I'm saying?
It broke Craig's internet.
So you're pretty stocked up on a normal basis anyway.
Generally, yes. Hand wash was an issue a couple of days ago, but I managed to find some. I didn't buy the whole shelf. I bought two, one for me and one for a family member, and that was it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you just see people. The Costco video. There's a UK version of the Costco video where they turn up with a pallet full of toilet roll, and they literally cut the plastic, and it's gone within about 25 seconds.
Wow!
What?
I mean, how much?
There's a roll. Okay, wait a minute, Adam. You said there's a video. What's the name of this video? I want to see.
Oh, I don't know. Someone showed me in work.
So what is it? Is it like what would it possibly?
Let's see if I
can find something like this.
There's one similar to that in Australia.
So there, you go on YouTube and there's what toilet paper. Let me look.
It wasn't on YouTube. It was a WhatsApp video, so I don't know.
Okay, but I'm sure that's got to be on. Yeah. Oh, it is. Look at this. It's in the. Okay, I'm going to share the screen. It is. You have to see my search because it's insane. Okay, so this Costco toilet paper. Look at it's the second one.
Oh, okay.
Okay, here we go. Mainly Costco panic buying toilet paper race. This is insane. Okay, now I'm not going to play the sound because I have gotten two YouTube copyright claims just this week.
Okay.
So I'll mute it. Oh, it's already muted. Here we go. Okay, it's a 2-minute video.
I'm not. No, it's not what I was thinking of.
They're the same way here. Okay, they've got the. Look at this. They're running.
You put some spike strips across them.
They're running.
See if I can find the one I was thinking of.
I don't know what the deal is with toilet paper, but
oh my God, look at this. They are people are running. They're full blown sprinting. This is
crazy.
Back to the store to get the toilet paper.
Oh my God.
People.
Here we go. I've got it.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Look at this. Look at all the people running. Now, okay, walking like this guy in the ball cap here. Oh, that's just fine. Running? Yeah, look at her. Slow the hell down, people. What are you doing?
The lady was laughing.
Oh, there they go. They're just like,
Hilarious.
Look at this.
I put one in the private chat. This is the palette.
oh man.
Oh my God! Look at this.
Why do you need more
Look at all
than that?
This is.
I'm sorry, but this is why you need to have protect yourself and have protection in your own house, because like people go crazy. People go nuts for no reason.
Watching this makes me hate my own species.
Yeah. It's like this makes me want a gun. Like,
Okay,
to be
look.
honest.
Now this happened. Whoops, I'm sorry. Damn it! What happened? This happens to be. Oh man, what keeps happening here? This happens to be in the UK, right? But this could be any Costco anywhere.
I'm not sure because it's got an NHL hat, so that might be the US.
Well, yeah, it says
Well, I mean-
Langley, but this could be Langley here somewhere. Canada.
There you go.
Okay.
I posted the UK one in the private chat.
Okay, let me get this link right here. And oh my God, look at how fat.
You're gonna see Craig wearing a 452 down the aisle.
you know what? Now. Okay, yeah, we've got to, guys. We've got to see. We've got to.
I think the NFL. They've kind of
Okay,
suspended.
here we go. Look at this. Okay, here we go. Look, he cuts the shrink wrap.
That's all people waiting.
These people.
Oh my God!
Cuts the shrink wrap.
Look, he's pulling the pallet out. This is toilet paper, kids. Kids, this is toilet paper.
Yeah.
But it's Charmin.
It looks
Some of
like-
that good stuff though.
Following them like
This ain't even Charmin. This is.
Normal That's not a supermarket. That's
Oh, I
Booker's
thought
or
it was.
something like that.
yeah.
It's Costco.
Looks like a.
Yeah, it's
looks like a-
Costco. Yeah, this is.
Yeah.
Now we got to get.
Oh, right, okay.
Okay.
It's like a bunch of crows.
I thought you were showing the. UK one.
That is the UK one. This is a UK Costco.
Oh, is there?
It does show it though.
None round here. That's for sure.
So let me, Tom, just for a second, I'm going to bring you out so I can bring Zach in. Hey, Zach, what do you have on what's the brewer reaction to this coronavirus? What do you think?
About damn time, Joe. I've been sitting in this off thing. Like, when's Joe gonna pick up? Yeah, it's been a weird couple of weeks, huh?
So what's your perspective from a brewer perspective? What precautions are you guys taking? What's your thought?
I don't know, man. It's this is gonna be a really tough, weird thing. I don't think anybody has an answer right now. It's we're small businesses. We are. I'm glad that, like, up here, Blue Moon is shut down and Avery is shut down. And I'm sure they're still brewing, but their tap rooms are shut down. They don't rely on that. I think now we have to have a bigger conversation about understanding what small business is. Because this isn't going to affect any of them. The places that have enough money to make sure everybody's taken care of and can kind of do whatever they want, they're fine. When this is your livelihood and every single day of the week matters, it's totally different. And I'm appreciative of the ideas of these quarantines. but people need to realize it's okay to still go out and support your local business.
Yep.
And we have toilet paper, so
So and I personally use that and they're nice.
yeah, it's a nice bathroom, and if you really need the toilet paper, just use it. There's been issues with businesses up here that people are bringing their own empty rolls and spooling the roll and stealing the toilet paper.
That's a new one. Yeah.
So that's a different deal. I don't know. We've got to figure. Everybody's got to figure this out together, and it's going to be really hard on small businesses.
Wow. Hey, you brought, we're gonna get you. Be patient, please. That's right. I have not heard people literally taking toilet business.
Yeah, people are coming in and they are stealing the toilet paper out of. I've heard a couple of different businesses around town. Wow. And it's just gonna be really tough. I don't understand it. Nobody can shit that much.
Yeah, that is.
I think we're just like everybody else. There's this mass shutdown of everything, but there's a group of people that are saying, okay, let's go about our daily lives, but those are people that don't really give a shit about mass crowds anyways. Mm-hmm. And then there's people that are just freaking out and not doing anything and stocking up on the wrong things. This is going to be something. I went to 3 breweries today, and none of us were busy.
Wow. And this
is the time of year when every other Saturday before this is busier than the prior year's Saturday. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is the busy time starting up here when the weather's getting nice, everything's getting better, and people are starting to, I don't know if it's just today or what's going to happen, but people need to take a long, hard look at how they're acting, because even just going to the store, people are acting like dumbasses.
Okay, exactly. You're a bird. So I'm going to get what is my risk? Is my level of risk greater than going to the market? Because supermarkets in all of our areas, even across the pond, I think they're staying. Is there any risk someone what's that risk?
I don't work for the health departments, and I don't know all that. What I know is that we are already a very clean facility, mm-hmm. but I'm a facility of capacity less than 100 people. I'm a neighborhood bar. You and Mark have been in, Mark, a couple of times, and there's not that many people in there all the time. We're not a concert venue. We're not a club. Well, we're not even a sports bar. We are a neighborhood pub.
Mhm.
And we clean our tables multiple times a day. All the glasses are used in a commercial dishwasher after use. We don't do food. We don't have any of that other stuff. I can't tell you to not be worried about things, but there's certain places I feel like if you're comfortable on a daily basis, you should know, like, oh, that place is clean, that place is this or that. It's okay to, I don't know why people are shutting everything down.
Yeah, I'm hearing definitely. I'm just trying to your average consumer that would have the level of risk. Can I get this? Okay, some of the questions I have. What are the regs? I mean, how do you use tables? Process for that. Is that something that possibly contaminated Reddit? These are
we're always cleaning tables. We're always cleaning bathrooms. You're never getting a dirty glass. If you go in a place and you get a beer poured and it looks like a bunch of bubbles are in it, then yeah, you know what a dirty glassware looks like. Don't be don't be accepting a glass that's all bubbly and looks dirty. Or if you see a bartender, my biggest pet peeve, when they're pouring it and they dip the faucet into the beer while they're pouring it.
Yes.
Send that thing back, tell them to redo it, and if they can't pour a beer right, then leave.
Thank you.
It's disgusting. It should never happen. But, I mean, besides that, when we look at this virus or whatever it is, this is something that if you're going to get it, I think you're going to get it. It sounds very through breaths and stuff. So, I mean, yeah, don't try to go and mouth breathe, Joe, if I was going to have a beer with you, I probably wouldn't be like sucking air off your teeth while we had a beer.
Yeah, that's true. From a house, from a good bar. Any thoughts on what that gets mean? You put what you might server, pouring beer anything like that.
You're not talking to me.
Yes, sir.
Joe. Here's
Yeah, the echo is out of control.
Zach's clear as a bell, but we all aren't. Okay, Zach's muted. Okay, now, okay. Could you repeat that entire question, Joe?
Well, it came from a neighborhood bar that you frequent. Is there any sort of, now Zach was talking about, things that we can do are, when you get served your pint of beer and you notice that the glass is dirty, like this one is right now, you know what I'm saying? Reject that beer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
if you notice, the bartender is putting every glass of beer in the faucet as he's pouring the beer, as they're pouring the beer, rather. Hey, politely ask for, hey, can I have a little pint? That faucet might not be so damn clean.
Right.
What are your thoughts?
So you mean my bartender's not supposed to have both of his thumbs in the glass when he's No, actually, in my particular case, it's a moot point because where I go, my friend / the manager / the one who does all the beer selections there, he's extremely meticulous and is also tries to make sure his staff is extremely meticulous as far as cleaning his beer lines and making sure everything is clean, glassware, and making sure everything is in order. And that's one of the
and I can attest to somebody as an outside authority. Him and I can attest that this is in fact true because we have sat there and watched Bubba pour beers, and he is very meticulous.
Yeah.
Well,
just like Zach and all.
Yeah.
Reaction.
And me and Mark can attest to what is happening at Chain Reaction Brewing as far as cleanliness. The place is definitely clean. This is invaluable, and I know that there's some echo going on, and please bear with us, folks, because right now we are not only hearing from a brewer, a small brewer. This is invaluable information. Right now, we're hearing from a small brewer, small business owner, kids, small business owner making his plea to, hey, please support us, man. We're doing everything we can to keep you safe. I mean, that's what's happening here. That's the message I'm hearing. What about you, Mark? That's the message I think.
I mean, that's exactly it. I mean, we've decided that we're going to patronize, the businesses that we go to on a weekly basis, the same as we do. If they're restaurants, most of the restaurants that we go to are doing takeout or drive-through, so we're going to do that.
Yeah.
The bars, I'm not worried about that. The stores, I'm not worried about that. Just wash your hands. Don't run up to somebody and give them tongue when you kiss them. Just stay your distance. Be smart about that and just pay attention. And that's the main thing. But yeah, I mean it's going to be real important to support the small businesses at this point because this is the type of thing that it's a black, they talk about it in investing. It's called a black swan event. You guys may have heard of that, but it's something that's kind of like out of the blue that comes in. It affects everybody much more than you thought it would. And this is one of those things. And time will tell whether it's all this caution we're taking is warranted or not. But the reality is that's what's going on now. So do what you can and support the businesses in your community as much as you can. Because if you don't, they might not be there when this is all done.
And you know what? Now, for me personally, I can relate to this from the first Gulf War. I was in the military. For anybody that don't realize that, I served during President Bush, the first Bush, the dad. I served during the first Gulf War. Actually, before that, I was serving during all that period where they were trying to make up their minds when they were going to go to war. And I remember I was a military policeman when I was in the service, so I used to police the anti-American events that the Germans would have. There was a lot of these things that would happen. They flip cars over. They would protest us being in Germany all the time. At the same time, we were a major part of their economy. So what ended up happening was the minute we were all deployed to the first Gulf War, these cities were vacated. All of a sudden, all these other little businesses. At the time, we still had video cassettes, and a lot of these video store rentals, the bars, all these other places. There was nobody to go to. Everybody was gone. Everybody was in the Gulf War. I was still there, but I can't drink that much beer. I mean, I try. But you know,
Only one man. I can only do so much.
I could only do so much. I tried to drink as much alcohol as I could, but a lot of bars and other businesses that were, counted on us being there went out of business just that quick. I mean, in a matter of a couple of months, it was like, hey, you got to go over to such and such because they're selling all their videotapes because they're out of business. And I remember the amount of small businesses that went out of business just like that. I mean, boom, 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 because we were all gone. And this is that sort of situation. Even though it might only be 30 days or 60 days, it might only be till July before this is pretty much all over. Like we've talked about privately, the Share a Beer panel here, the economic impact from this. First comes the health impact, but there's an economic impact with this. And we had one small business owner on here who happens to be a dear friend of this show, a very dear friend of this show. A couple of us has visited his business and consumed said products, and they're very good. They're very sanitary. It's a great place to be. I wish I was in that area. I'd be there regularly myself. But, he's making his plea to, hey, please support us. We count on your business. We're not Coors. We can't necessarily withstand a couple of months of you not coming in and having a pint. If your routine is to come in once a week, please continue that. You know what I'm saying? We're doing everything we can. That's what I'm hearing. And thank you to Zach for chiming in even for 5-10 minutes. I appreciate that. You're here first right here, man. What do you say, Bum?
Yeah, we haven't seen Zach it's been months, so it was good to see him and at a perfect time. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it's always nice to see Zach.
Yeah, it's always, and we seem to always hear from him at the right time, man.
Yeah.
And it's generally, hey, man, we're a very small local business. We're doing okay as long as you keep supporting us.
Yeah.
And what can you say to that? Hey, you know what? What I can say is I'm going to continue to do what I can in my local area. I just came from a brewery just like Zach's. Me and Zach shared a pint at this very brewery. I did my part, ordered some beer to go. I'm having that beer 2 weeks later. You know what I'm saying? I'll be down there again soon, I'm sure. I'll be at another tap house soon, I'm sure. And here's Zach again, man. What say you, brother?
I'm back. Hopefully this sounds a little better.
Yeah, way better.
Oh no!
1,000%.
Yeah, you sounded fine before, Zach.
Definitely.
Everybody else thought that there was echo.
So I don't know if you heard anything that I said, Zach, but I was just
I've been listening. I think it's time to wake up. I think this isn't just a thing about disease anymore or whatever. This is a kind of a wake up call for the country to figure out which way you want to go.
Yeah.
Who do you want to support? And what kind of person are you going to be? Because I know, Joe, you were talking about some of what you saw, how places can go away real quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think if people don't realize that, they will. Even if you're going in there to get to-go beer or whatever, if it's your neighborhood place, you need to.
Yeah.
You got to go in there and get a growler, get a bag of peanuts or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
because I get this biggest kick out of things, and I think everybody on the panel ideas or whatever, and Mark might even have some different ones being a finance kind of guy, but people get mad and go, "Oh, why isn't everybody just getting paid, or why isn't just pay for them to take their time off?" Well,
Yeah, it's
with
not that
small
easy.
business, things are different. If you're not putting money into that business, then it's hard to have any employees.
Yeah.
It takes a lot more.
Yeah, it's an immediate impact, and man, I can't thank you enough for jumping in here, Zach, because you're a small business and a brewery. I mean, we love beer. We love when the times are good. We love having you in here, and you can chime in on just beer and talk beer, and we can skip the economic part of it. But in times like this, when the country and when the whole globe is in a pandemic, not just a crisis, but this pandemic, and people don't necessarily know which way to go. Hey, if you can, please, like you said, Zach, just go in and get you have beer to go. I mean, you don't necessarily have to stick around. You can send one person down there if that's the beer you love. Hey, get some beer to go. You know what I'm saying? You're still supporting your local pub, your local brewery. Maybe your local pub, maybe it's a place like where a bum likes to go. If you're going in there and still getting some beer to go, you're still supporting the place. You're like, hey, I don't feel real comfortable sticking around, but let me get a couple of crowlers and else, I'm gonna drink those at home. Fine. You know what I'm saying? Nothing wrong with that. Here you go. Boop boop boop, whoop, whoop, and good to go. Just something else to think about. And like Zach was saying, hey, if you're concerned about toilet paper, we got toilet paper.
Just don't take ours.
Yeah.
Don't steal it.
Just don't
Just
steal
don't
it.
refill them. Yeah.
I hadn't even thought about that. But people are in such a panic about toilet paper that they're stealing toilet paper from local
That's insane.
That's
And
insane.
I can just say that I just personally used some bog roll, and I didn't need that much. So don't worry about it.
A couple squares and just
Yeah, like Seinfeld. Hey, don't you have a square to spare? You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Oh, I love that episode. It ends up being the girl that Seinfeld was talking to, right?
Yeah.
At the end, Delaney didn't end up getting into her.
Yeah, I don't have a square to spare. Anything else to add there, Zach?
Excuse me.
There's so much to add, but it's not even worth it sometimes. It's you gotta love what you do, and you keep trying to fight. And we just you keep trying to do your own damn thing, and you hope people keep showing up. We still did our comedy night last night, and people still came, and things were okay with that. But we're gonna see where things go together. I don't know, it's cliche, but we're all in it together, right?
Yeah, that's
true. Exactly.
That's
Definitely.
Adam, you got any thoughts on what you've heard, man? This is happening on this side of the pond, but you got anything else to add? From your perspective in the UK.
I've actually got a really positive one. There was in my local area, there was a new independent tap room that's opened called the Little Tap Room on Egbert Road. They opened last night, which was their opening night.
Oh my!
Yeah, and it was almost full. the pictures on Twitter show how full it was.
Awesome.
So, I know.
Well, and things are pretty good in the UK right now, right?
They still had 10. Well, I think it's gone up to 21 confirmed deaths now from it. So, not amazing, but
I have a buddy in the UK right now, and he was talking that, you know, even though they've got stuff going on, that it's not like this mass American quarantine. I don't know what that button did.
Tom, any thoughts on what you just heard, man?
I mean, I don't. To be honest, going back to like small business, even before this happens or anything. Like for instance, I have like a health food store down the street, and they'll sell like the same stuff they have at Walmart, but it's like a couple of dollars more there. Like I'm willing to go to a small business and spend a couple more dollars, knowing that business needs that money more than a Walmart or more than an other store. You know what I mean? I'd rather spend more money at a small business than a Walmart or anywhere else. You know what I mean? Because those other businesses are all billionaires, they're all this and that. I'd rather spend at the place next door than over there, if that makes sense.
Oh, it makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Without the coronavirus going around, like even before that, I would rather do that. And of course, even more now. I mean, not everyone can do that, but like even if you buy like small necessities at places that nearby that are small businesses, including breweries, spend a little more there instead of going somewhere you can get a couple more. You know what I mean? That you don't need or do need. You know what I mean? Like, I think small businesses. Without small businesses, we're only going to be Walmart and Amazon's, and it's what are we going to be at that point? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm crazy, but Walmart and Amazon's, we're not going to. When it's only me and Jeff Bezos in Walmart, I'd rather have the small people making money than everyone else making money. That's for me. That's my standpoint.
Hey, Mark, we haven't heard from you in a few minutes, man. What do you have to say about what you've heard?
I think same thing as pretty much what Tom and Zach have said. You've got to support small business in your area as much as you can, whether or not there's a pandemic going on or not. There's it's important to have those small businesses in your community, because that's one of those things that kind of holds the community together. So do what you can when you can, and even in the midst of all this stuff that's going on now, continue supporting, because the reality is you can still frequent pretty much everywhere you've always frequented. You just keep doing what you're doing and just pay a little bit more attention. And in reality is, when this is all done, you should still be washing your hands more than we do now. So
Yeah.
That is something that I think is, once the genie is out of the bottle, I think it's going to be really tough to put that genie back in. And I think just like 9/11, there are things that even to this day we are affected by from 9/11. Myself, as a truck driver, I have to get background checks now to haul hazmat. I have, there's a few extra steps I have to go through every couple of years because of 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
All of us, none of us, I don't think anywhere on the globe can see a loved one off to the plane anymore. These are things that are in the past. These are things that you have to be of a certain age to even remember them now, because they're that far in the past. These are things that we live with since 9/11. And just like 9/11, my personal feelings are we are not coming back from where we used to be pre-coronavirus. I think that what's going to end up happening is there's going to be things that are being put in place now that we're not going to come back from. I think the hand cleaning thing. Now, these are things that we have done for eons, ages, but we're going to be way more conscious of. Think about how many people.
I have to object. Most men didn't wash their hands at all before this. So
No, obviously, yeah, no, it is, but nowadays, you're with the amount of cats like myself that are. I'm not a germaphobe. I'm not OCD. But think of how many people are like myself that are kind of borderline.
Well, I'll tell you one thing I observed today, being out and about, was the amount of people that went to shake hands.
Yeah.
And completely pulled away from that once they realized what they were doing. It was like, oh, let's shake hands. And then before that happened, it clicked and it was, oh, do we do knuckles? Do we smile? That was one big thing. Also, one of the places I went to was the bartenders wouldn't touch your glasses. You were making sure you bust your own glasses, and you were putting your glasses into a tray that's on a designated table, and they were taking that tray and putting it directly to the dishwasher rather than coming around and touching that glass that you just had.
Wow. I can't see how that'll be enforced going forward.
Just basic stuff that you wouldn't think of before, but now might become kind of common.
Well, these are things, and I think relating things to that 9/11 shock and put in place is good. But 9/11 was quick. It was right away.
Yeah, very drastic.
And it was there. You already knew. You already felt that right there, that moment.
No, I disagree.
This is something that it's going to take many, many months until we all see through the fog and what's left after.
9/11 was so unknown. We had no idea what was coming, where it was coming from. There was this whole mystery to it for months.
Not that part of it. I'm saying you felt that right away. There was no denying that you were going to be upset and things were going to change. This is something that people are slowly, even the president, you're seeing slowly maybe try to ease into this. Nobody knows what the hell is actually, is this going to be the 10 times the flu virus thing that they say it could be, or is this going to be H1N1 that everybody forgets about? We have months to figure out what's actually going to stick for me.
Trump thinks it'll be over by April, surely.
At least the president has small hands, right?
Yeah, he's the one with really small.
Let me ask, is there two people that are willing to get put in the green room, if you will, so I can bring two other cats in?
Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna get out of here also.
I have to. I'm waking up an hour early for work tomorrow. I will still continue to watch for a while, but yeah, you can gladly eject me, and I will see you guys next week.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Sure.
Out, brother.
No problem.
I'll get out of here too. Hey, it's great seeing you, Zach, and everyone else.
See you, Tom.
See you, Tom.
Later, guys.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, Pat, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing all right.
And we're bringing Craig back in too, man. Hey, thanks for staying in. Appreciate it. Hey, Pat, we haven't seen or heard from you in a while. Any thoughts? Have you been listening to what's been talked about? Any thoughts on the coronavirus and what the impact that it may have to our local breweries and so on and so forth?
Nothing. Nothing that hasn't already been said.
Right.
Yeah. I think it's going to be pretty serious, but I'm not losing it. I decided, though, if it is the end of the world, I may as well go out big. So I got
Limerita! Yes! Rita Nation lives, baby! And bananas! We need to say bananas and limerita. We haven't done this on the show in forever, I feel like. Huh, Mark? Oh, my God. We used to have to make it a point to say limerita and bananas every show.
Yeah.
And, we got out of that routine a long time ago. Yeah. Thanks, Pat. Appreciate it, man. That is
brought it back. For better
fine
or worse.
beverage.
Damn right.
Now, Pat, does that taste just as tasty and delicious as it did the last time you had that?
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay.
Nothing says support your local business like having a Bud Light limerita, right?
You gotta do what you gotta do, right?
Hey, listen.
No, it makes you support the local business because you have it and you're like, oh shit, I'll never drink that again. And I'm going to your local craft brewer.
I want to see him chug it before he drinks the good beer.
Boom! There it is. Dank Fruit Double IPA. And with that in mind, I am having something from Goldwater right now.
Okay.
Such a good brewery.
I'm having a local beer too. Six Bridges Brewing, Medlock Bridge.
So that is 3 local breweries right now. Boom, being supported right now on this show. And mind you, this is a coronavirus-free show. I cannot ever possibly give you coronavirus right now.
That we know of.
That we know of. Exactly. Yet. I don't know that Google's that powerful, are they?
I don't know. You'd have to check the size of your hands.
Craig, what any opinions on what you've heard, man?
Hey guys, I gotta go too, but I'll catch up with you next time.
Hey, thank you, Zach. Hey, I appreciate
it. Good luck. Stay safe, and we'll see you later.
Good luck out there. Lick as many handrails as you can, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Don't shit yourself.
Yeah.
Remember
that
got
little bog roll.
That's it. Get them
Zach.
rolls sorted out.
Well, that's the question of the day, Pat. Do you have plenty of bog roll stored up in your closet?
That's all I have in there.
Okay. Good.
Nice.
Zach took off. Huh? I was going to chug this for him.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll.
You're right. You're right now.
Oh, there we go. Limerita.
I'm
gonna crack.
I'm gonna crack
Let's
that
see
in a
anybody
minute.
let's see.
Oh no, Craig.
There you go.
Murphy's local Irish macro.
Well, it's actually brewed in Edinburgh,
Burton.
which is bizarre.
Wow.
It's at Edinburgh, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Well, Pat, you've managed to keep it all down. That's good.
Part Heineken.
So far.
Part Heineken, isn't it?
We'll
You
see.
missed it,
Yeah, I thought it was some of the reason I thought it was brewed in Burton, but yeah, I knew it wasn't brewed in Ireland anymore.
Yeah, no, it's
So it's
brewed an Irish stout brewed in Edinburgh, Scotland.
Okay. All right.
I've got actually a brewery close to Craig, well-ish, Berkshire, Wild Weather, but it's a collaboration with a local brewery, Top Rope. So this is a brand new one, Dwayne, the Bock Johnson.
Oh,
It's a 7% Bock beer.
Okay.
Last night.
Fuck.
That's who we need running for president in 2020.
What, Dwayne Johnson?
Yeah, Dwayne Johnson.
I think anyone over Trump.
Hey, Pat, on a very, very local note, I happened to go to the new Goldwater tap room in Mesa, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty cool brewery. Pretty cool tap room, actually. Literally right next to a cookie shop. Crumble Cookies.
Oh, yeah.
Phenomenal.
Sounds good.
And in the same parking lot as a In-N-Out Burger. So,
The trifecta.
yeah, please. It was, I mean, and, just like all breweries, they don't mind if you bring outside food in. So you could get your In-N-Out Burger and sit there and they had the garage doors, and they opened the garage doors, so it has this complete open feel to it, which is incredible. And so you're sitting there eating your In-N-Out burger, you're having good craft beer, and you get this cookie smell floating in from the bakery literally next door. Oh, insane. Oh, I mean, now you gotta love the cascading action that's happening over there in Craig's place right there, man. That is, oh yeah, baby, that's beer porn. Find it.
Is that a nitro? Is that a nitro one?
Yep.
Has it got a widget in it?
Is that a nitro head, or are you just happy to see me, my friend?
It's pretty big, isn't it?
Big head.
That was a great answer, wasn't it? That was awesome. Yeah, that was a great answer. You gotta love that.
Don't look down.
Now we pretty much know what you're getting out of that. I mean, it's been the same beer for 250 million years. What are you getting out of that one, though?
It's just like nice. It's like a milky chocolate, touch of coffee. Yeah, it's subtle. It's subtle, but you know, lovely aroma. You know.
Mm-hmm. Very drinkable beer.
Oh yeah. If anybody says they're getting hammered off of that beer, give me a break, right?
No.
You're not getting hammered. Off of that.
You get full before you get hammered.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
It's only 4%, but you just get full up. It's just like heavy. It's just heavy.
Yeah, it is.
Just sits there.
It's very satisfying, though. It's a solid beer.
Murphy's. I prefer it to Guinness.
It's a perfect black and tan beer, actually. If you're going to make a black and tan, use Murphy's, right?
Do you remember? I don't know if it made it over to the US, but they did quite a few pre-made black and tans that you used to get in bottles and cans. They were quite interesting.
Yeah, well, Guinness has a black and tan. I haven't seen it in the store for a while, but they did have it here. They had a Guinness black and tan in cans. I think it was cans, like a 4-pack of 16-ounce cans.
Yeah.
Here for a while.
I never sampled it. I think I remember seeing it, but I never sampled it.
Yeah. I don't think I ever had it either.
Hey Pat, what are you getting out of that dank tank?
Just great.
Dank.
It's it's actually the first thing I ever had from them years ago. So they only do it probably like every few months. So it's kind of cool to revisit it now after I've had a bunch, from them. But I mean, this is, I think, the best it's been. So definitely like just hops, kind of like melon, pineapple, that kind of good stuff. Not too sweet, and pretty dry for as hazy it is.
Okay.
I would suggest it.
I am tempted to go down to Tombstone myself for some of the releases that I've been seeing them release lately.
Yeah.
I mean, to make a field trip down there would be pretty cool, Yeah.
Right, guys, I've got to head off. I'll speak to you soon.
Hey, thanks, Craig. Appreciate you jumping on, my friend.
Good night, Craig.
Yeah.
Cheers. Take care. Keep safe.
You too.
Yeah, Mark, the amount of information we've had on this show today is more than I ever expected. I mean, to have Zach on here alone is incredible, man.
Yeah, no, that was important. It was good and important perspective because people forget about that. They kind of get into their own panic, whatever you want to call it, kind of thinking about themselves. And you got to remember that there's a lot of businesses that depend on locals, people from within whatever radius coming in on a regular basis and purchasing whatever product they're selling. in order to stay in business, and that's one of the things that needs to, hopefully won't be a lot, but the longer this goes on and people are sitting around at home and not doing anything, I mean, it increases the odds that more and more small businesses are going to be the victims of this, because they just don't have, they don't have the money or the credit lines. A lot of big businesses have taken out, they've exercised, they have lines of credit. Big Fortune 500 companies have lines of credit, and well, in the last week, I kind of get information on that. A lot of them have used some of the lines of credit, and what they're doing is they're bringing in cash to kind of help them tide over. So, but a lot of small businesses can't do that. So, you need to pay attention and do what you can to keep supporting the businesses that you have been supporting, over the years, over the time prior to this. So, it's real important.
Yeah, I have to admit, I'm one of them. I loved that input because I hadn't thought about that yet, hadn't got there. And to get that kind of perspective, that immediate like that, at this point in time is valuable. It's wow. Thank you, Zach. Appreciate it once again, man. I mean, not only is he a local brewery, not in my area, not in your area, but in his area, and in an area like Colorado and Denver, I mean, if breweries are already feeling the impact in Denver, you can imagine what they're feeling here in all our local areas when that's a beer community.
Yeah.
And to get down to the level of small businesses like his are feeling an economic impact on top of that, because some of those things like we showed from the video where people are just taking time and they're stealing toilet paper from local small businesses on top of that.
Yeah.
Come on, kids. Come on. When you're stealing toilet paper from a brewery, seriously? We're there?
Yeah.
Already? I mean, it's happening. It's a thing. We're there.
Like I said, break out the lamaritas. It's time.
Now, I have yet to need toilet paper at a brewery. Just saying. I mean, I'm a pretty much stand up and wash hands situation. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I think what you need to do, I mean, it's important. Just do what you need to do dietarily to make sure that you're just like a one bog roll use per day. So you just the bog roll.
What I've been wondering is, like, are bidets going to take off in the States now?
Yeah, Japanese toilets. I'm saying, you know what? The Japanese, we are going to catch up to the Japanese sooner or later. The Japanese nod, right? They don't shake hands. They don't do knuckles. They just nod.
Yeah.
Right? They use toilets that are free of toilet paper. They don't need toilet paper. What are you talking about? I think so do the people in the Middle East. I think they believe in bidets and all that sort of thing as well.
Yeah.
Maybe we have 2 toilets in all our restrooms. I don't know. Maybe we have Japanese toilets. Maybe we all invest in $2,000 toilets.
I'm gonna do that next week. Oh no,
yeah.
Not really.
Maybe all our toilets need a plug next to them, so we can plug them in and use all those.
That'd be shocking. Electric shock down there. Whoa, that would hurt.
Yeah, that's but I don't think that we can necessarily let this genie out of the bottle like we have and just bring it back. There are some pros and cons to everything. Now, my thoughts are what ends up happening. Now you're starting to see the travel industry being impacted immediately. Yeah. So, of course, we have the cruise ships being impacted. That whole industry, forget about it. If you're in that industry, if you're investing in that industry, just forget about it. You're done. Okay. Getting past that, even the airlines here in America, the big three, right? Delta, American, United, are offering a Southwest type of refund on your product. So if you were to buy a flight, I think they're offering a kind of refund-ish for 6 months sort of thing to try to get you to continue to buy travel. Some of these things are going to be difficult to walk back once you let that out of the bottle. Some of these type of things are going to be fantastic as consumers because we've always wanted some of these greedy companies to do some of these things, and they wouldn't. They were like, we don't have a need to do that. Screw you, giving you the bird, right? Now, I'm hearing that some of them are starting to offer these Southwest Airlines type of, at least, hey, here's a voucher that you can use in 6 months. And that's more than they ever did before. That's going to be tough to walk back once all this kind of clears. At the same time, what I think is going to end up happening is you've got, in young and old, this affect, I can't say just millennials alone. You've got people that are already out there that are panicked about germs anyway. And this is just going to, in their minds, go, told you so, right?
Yeah.
So there's and even for some of us that were kind of like, it never really bothered me before, but now, do we really need the handshake? Seriously? How about some knucks? Or just how about a polite, how you doing? Right? Like, some of these things are not necessarily going to be measured, but we're not going to come back from this. I don't see it.
My big hope is that it highlights two things about America: is how fucked up our healthcare system is, and how fucked up our like sick time off and that kind of stuff is. How people like feel like they have to go to work even though they're sick because they don't have an option, and like that just causes more of a problem. And then they might have shitty healthcare, so they don't want to go into, or cost all their money, and it's just like America's uniquely set up to get hit really, really hard.
Adam, what?
So we'll see. But
hearing that, thank you, Pat, for that, because I forgot about that part. Thank you, Adam. We have a system here where a lot of people don't necessarily have healthcare. They don't have these sorts of things that we don't necessarily have. I happen to have excellent benefits. This isn't going to impact me personally that much in the short term. Long term, sure. Short term, couple weeks, 30 days, not so much. 60 days, not as much. Past that, probably. What is that sort of impact as far as health is concerned, as far as medical bills, your sick days that you're allowed to have from your job? What's that impact in your country?
So medical bills, not an issue, because you have the NHS, which is the National Health Service, which does cover that, and that's included in what you pay your national insurance for, that comes out of your paycheck. The problem arises is that because it's funded by the people, it has a limit, and that limit can be stretched and it can be pushed. And with viruses such as this, it can be maybe pushed beyond its limit, and maybe you can't get a bed, or maybe there isn't any beds available in the hospital. That's the point you get to. In terms of time off, it varies. They have here what's called a 0-hour contract, which is basically an employment at will. But you have 0 hours. Your hours are only at will to your employer. They don't often have the same benefits that you would have if you were fully a salaried employee. So that is basically that they don't work, they don't get paid. The government have said that if they've been in that position for a certain amount of time, they are entitled to what they call statutory sick pay, which is a governmental sick pay, but it is very low. It wouldn't be in comparison to what you would usually get in your wage packet. I'm quite lucky in the fact that I've been with my company for 2 years, and our sick pay after 12 months is pretty good. That wouldn't worry me. My concern is, and I raised it this week, is if the schools are closed, or if someone's child contracts the disease, they aren't necessarily covered for that sick pay. It only applies to if they're ill. So what the situation would be there, I'm not sure. That's probably something you'd have to go down the line, maybe take some additional assistance to find out whether you would get paid or whether you'd have to take that as unpaid leave. It's an odd situation, but as you can imagine, a lot of people have kids.
Yeah.
Most people working will have children that go to school. If those schools are closed, you can't necessarily get a babysitter or a childminder to look after them full time. What is the situation there? Especially with a lot of places will be closed or won't be accepting children because of the virus as well. It's dicey, but I'd say I'm glad that I don't have to worry about any medical bills if I got ill. It would only be whether I would continue to be paid. They have said, the UK government have said, because it used to be that you had to be off sick for 5 days before you get statutory sick, 5 or 7 days, I think, for statutory sick pay. They have now brought that for the time being as the first day. So that has changed.
That's
unfortunate. It is, but self-employed people do not get this, and that is the problem. So if you're self-employed, they have suggested that you take something called universal credit, which is the new version of the benefit scheme, which I believe, I can't remember what it's called in the US. It's I'm trying to think what it was called. It's called in the US. So when you don't have a job and you just sort of unemployment benefit, yeah. So this new universal credit is supposed to be a more flexible way to get an unemployment benefit, and they're saying that a self-employed person, if they're off for a foreseeable time, can claim that. However, currently with this universal credit that's come in, it's a 5-week wait. So,
wow,
5 weeks without being paid.
Yeah, that's.
And you got a mortgage.
Yeah, if you've got a mortgage, if you've got any regular living bills,
bog roll.
Yeah, exactly, bog roll. Now, Pat, as a self-employed person, what is your take on everything that's happening, man? I mean,
yeah, it's a little scary because like I have nothing to fall back on, and recently, actually, my wife quit her job like a month ago. So that I could have a more flexible schedule, and so she could like kind of take care of our kids and worry more about them going to school. And then the one thing that worries me too is if they like cut off travel to California, that's potential, work that I would miss because I can't travel.
Especially California, because that's critical.
Yeah. And then, today I went and I shot a couple cars and I dealt with one person the entire day, so it was fine. But, I know that RM's already switched some auctions to be online only, that kind of thing. So we'll see, I guess.
And see, that's another byproduct. Like some of these companies, Mark, they're going to, just like he said, it's going to be hard. Once that genie's out of the bottle, if R&M figures out, you know what, we can start doing a lot of these auctions online and post this pandemic, why don't we start looking at this as a business model now?
It's kind of funny because there's a website that sells cars called bringatrailer.com. Mm-hmm. And it's all online auctions. It's kind of middle to high end stuff. Like you have to have your car accepted to be able to list it on Craigslist or something. Yeah. And that site has just exploded in popularity to where people are selling, $1 million+ cars on there. And it's interesting because in a way it might actually end up being better for me in the long run if
Yeah,
it
'cause
works.
it's all
something like
photos.
that. Yeah,
for the
because
photos. Yeah.
you have to rely entirely on the photos. So
Yeah.
it'll be
Well, I
interesting.
would
But
think, yeah, an all online
I'll be back.
luxury car or high end car auction might be better for you, Pat, because I mean, it's still if it's all online, then you're going to be going off of the images that you see.
yeah,
All other stuff.
and now
So,
that I've started to shoot video too.
yep. How is that going with the drone? Are you a licensed drone pilot now?
Oh no, I got the little
Oh, you-
cheapy one where I don't have to worry about it.
Okay.
It's like the 249 gram one, so it's just under the like federal limit for all that stuff.
Okay. All right.
So all I have to do is just, I mean, anyone can fly it. You have to like accept things in certain areas. You're limited to how high you can go and that kind of stuff. But I think that's the case regardless. Like if you're near airports and whatnot, you know.
Yeah, it's probably all baked into the software now.
Yeah, in fact, it won't let you launch the drone unless you accept, warnings, and you have to put in your email and phone number and your full name and all this stuff. And but yeah, it's been good. I just used it today. I shoot a McLaren. Kind of flew around and tried to do like a little video package to go along with the photos to see if I can get them to want me to, get them to want to do that on every car, because that would be, like a charge more, basically. So
yeah. You do the land based photos and then the aerial video.
Yeah.
For an extra $250 or $500 or whatever.
Yeah, and I got a GoPro to get some other stuff too, so it's been kind of fun.
Cool.
This is extreme, man. I'm telling you, I knew that. Now Mark knows because me and Mark talk quite a bit, but like I knew that we had to talk about this today. We had to. At the speed and everything's been going on across the globe, we had to talk about this today. But wow, what a discussion, guys. I mean, I'm telling you, man, this is blowing my mind, the amount of input we've had, the different perspectives. It's exactly why I wanted to talk about this today. To be able to get Adam's input, Craig's input from across the pond, different parts of the UK, different parts of our country here in America, and from different perspectives. Small business owner, self-employed person. I mean, Mark's also self-employed. We don't give him enough credit for that.
Fortunately for me, I've set up my business to be virtual from the beginning. So I was actually talking to Pam earlier. I was like, I'm probably going to actually have maybe more people kind of on the fence of whether they wanted to do something or not. I think I'll probably get more business from that in the next few weeks than not, because a lot of people are going to be working from home.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll feel better and maybe have a little bit more, wiggle room in their schedule to actually, pop on and do a phone call or a video conference. So, yeah. But
one tiny quick thing I want to interject. I've heard that the out-of-pocket cost in the U.S. for a test for the COVID-19 in most hospitals is about $1,300 if you don't have insurance.
Yeah, no, they've supposedly put a rule in place to waive the cost of that.
Yeah. You hope, because I mean,
now, the reality is, you know what it probably really costs? Probably about $200.
Oh yeah, no, I know, but again, what just proves how fucked up our whole system is.
Well, Pat, what is now as a self-employed person and as a person that has young kids, and all these sorts of things, is there any, just as a father, as a self-employed person, is there any concerns from that angle that you have right now? Any precautions that you have from that angle you could share with us?
I mean, I don't know. It's just kind of the same stuff, I mean, I have a feeling, right now my he's like just in kindergarten, but they're on spring break right now for the next week.
Oh, okay.
And my guess is that they actually will not go back after that, It'll probably be another week or two. And luckily we're set up that, like I said, my wife doesn't work now at the moment anyway. and I work from home, so it works perfect for us as far as that goes. But my whole fear is, how many people are going to want to, first of all, if the economy is going down like way, has been, how much are they going to sell luxury cars and whatever, buy ones, and then, with the auctions, like I said, it may actually work out well in terms of all the online stuff, because there may be people that, they're thinking about consigning their car for an auction. They're like, well, maybe I'll just bring a trailer instead. And in that case, there's no staff photographer for bring a trailer. So they got to find someone.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
Right. Man, this is all very. I'm telling you, Mark. This is. It's so much different. This is better.
Yeah.
As far as information for people that are watching, I feel this is such a huge value. I know it was for me. All these different perspectives now that I can take to work and add to a discussion that happens at work as a delivery guy, as someone that drives a truck here locally in Phoenix, that is bringing you your different supplies that you need. I am that guy that drives a lorry, what would be in the UK, or here just a truck driver. It's interesting to get different perspective from the different places that I go on a daily basis. And I also have to deal. We do have a moving service component to our business, which I happen to deal with quite a bit. So I'm dealing with people that are coming from Washington State, literally hours ago, and having to hear from them with their different perspectives is very interesting. So thank you to everybody for all your different inputs. There's been tons and tons of comments in the chat that I haven't even gotten to. Thank you to all you guys. I'm going to have to cut it off now. I need to get out and support some local businesses because I'm starving.
Quick question, Joe, before you go.
Yes.
When you were saying about the airlines reducing their fees, has there been anything in the US about travel insurance being stopped? Because here, although the airlines are reducing their fees, a lot of travel insurers have stopped selling new travel insurance.
Oh,
I haven't heard about that now.
The boss just chimed in and said a coworker got. Yeah. So yeah, the travel insurance is going away now.
Okay.
From one of her coworkers that travels quite a bit, for personal, stuff. And what was it? $40? How much did it go away? She can't do it anymore. Oh, okay. But so the insurance is still available. Oh, okay. All right. So the boss said the travel insurance is still available here in the States, as far as she knows. So.
Yeah. Now, my main source on these sorts of things is Clark Howard. Period. Boom. Clark Howard is it. I listen to Clark Howard 5 days a week. And as far as I know from Clark Howard and from the boss, you're still able to get travel insurance, but some of these things are a little more forgiving right now because the travel industry is being hit so hard.
Yeah.
So some of the actual companies themselves are just, maybe they're not giving you a refund, but they're like, hey, the ability to postpone those funds to a later date is easier than it has been in the past.
Yeah. I'd say the existing travel insurance is fine. They're just not taking any. Most of the larger companies are not taking any new policies.
Okay. So if you already had it, then you're probably good. But a new policy, not going to happen, right?
No.
Well, so some of the airlines, Southwest always has no change fees. You just rebook to wherever. So
Right. Yeah, right.
But Delta and some of the other ones are starting to go that way too.
Yeah.
I think Delta has gone to no change fees now.
Yeah, it's like it's a limited sort of time though. It's
but
Southwest
it'll probably continue.
Right.
It's one of those things like you were talking about. Once
But
the
it-
genie's out of the bottle.
Yeah, it's tough. Once, and this is something we've always wanted from those big boys. It's like, come on, man, are you kidding me? And so it starts with that, and then the next thing will be their baggage fees, right? If we can get those companies to release those baggage fees, forget about it. I mean, they're going to hold on to that like
most of your profit is the baggage fees.
Yeah.
So I'd say the only thing is though, with the travel insurance not being sold, you've got no health insurance when you're abroad.
Yeah. Depending on the travel insurance or your own health insurance.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of U.S. insurance policies will cover foreign travel for health insurance. So I don't know what the NHS does, but it sounds like they don't provide any coverage. A lot of U.S. policies will cover medical while traveling abroad. So,
ironically enough, you could come over here and still use the NHS, but if we were to go to another country, you've got to have travel insurance. Otherwise, you're paying out your own pocket for the full lot.
And that's because over there the government pays for everything, whereas we don't have that here. So
yeah, apart from prescriptions are just subsidized.
Yeah.
What do you got for that?
I was gonna say I'm actually supposed to potentially drive out to LA in the next week or two to shoot I don't know, it's something like 9 cars, which is I mean, that'll cover me for a couple of months if I can make that happen. So it's almost like I need to get the go ahead to do it and just rush out there and do it as fast as I can while I can.
I'll be out there on Tuesday. I'll see you then.
Exactly. I'm going out there no matter what. Get the cars there so I can shoot them. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what they're talking about, potential travel bans to come. The nice thing is,
are they
going
really?
to California? Yeah, and going to California, I just drive, so that's easy, So at least there's that. I'm not even attempt to book a flight right now because.
No, flights are. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No bueno on flights.
So the question, Pat, one of the questions I guess would be, if you were to drive to California, well, now you've got a whole vehicle. Would you be bringing back any coronavirus type of beers?
Maybe. That's what I typically do if I go out there.
Because California has some of the best coronavirus beers ever.
Oh yeah. No, I
as long as it's not Corona.
That's always a priority, and I figure it'll kill. I'm pretty sure alcohol kills it, right?
Yeah, that's right. It does.
Yeah.
By the boss, alcohol does kill coronavirus.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hey, well, thank you guys. Appreciate it, man. God, I mean, jam-packed full of information on this show for sure. If anything, perspectives on this pandemic for sure. We have self-employed perspective. We have small business perspective. We have small brewery perspective. We have UK perspective. I mean, so many different ways to look at the same thing right here on this show. Thanks, Mark. As always, Adam, Pat. Thank you guys. I appreciate it so much.
Greg, everybody, all right.
Thank you guys, man. We'll see you. Peace out. Stay safe till next week, man. We'll see you guys.
See you later.
Yeah.
Peace out, man.